Hello, this is Peter for linwap.net, and today I'm recording another video with two Android devices. This one is the first Android device ever, or the first device sold with Android ever. There were some other devices that had Android ports before Android was actually released, or Android beta ports, so you could argue about that. And was called the HTC Dream. It's made by HTC and has this QWERTY keyboard, which is unfortunately broken on my device because I had this big battery in while I was at sea, but then apparently my pocket was too tight, and so that keyboard stopped working, which makes this device barely unusable. But let's talk about that later. This is the Samsung Galaxy S2, which is maybe the best superphone out yet. It has got a 4.3-inch screen, 1.2 GHz dual core, Samsung Exynos 4210 chip, and well, it's just very fast, quite large, and overall a nice phone. However, it has no keyboard. Looking at these devices, you can easily see that the Samsung is larger, and this is smaller and narrower. Of course, in thickness, the Samsung is a lot thinner with its 8.49 millimeters, while this is about 17 millimeters. Let's have a look at the software. My G1 is running an older version of CyanogenMod based ROM, which is called Ginger Yoshi, if I'm right. It's running Android 2.3.2, while this Samsung Galaxy S2 is running on an official ROM based on Android 2.3.3, sorry. And yeah, kernel version and so on is of course different. Interestingly enough, both devices run on a 2.6.35 Linux kernel. What actually, I think this is only interesting for really die-hard people. When the G1 came out, that's why it has this keyboard, which is very snappy to fold open and very convenient to use. Android didn't have a software keyboard yet. Software keyboards came with 1.5 Cupcake, and the last official Android version for the T-Mobile G1, by the way, is 1.6, Android 1.6 Donut. While for the similar spec, though keyboardless, HTC Magic, this was 2.2. I think there is a Froyo update for that, which of course has been ported over to the G1 too. Let's have another look at the settings, just to besides that enormous difference in processing power, there's something that actually has a larger impact on actual usage, in my opinion. This is a 600 megahertz, I think it's less than 600 megahertz, 550, I don't remember. Megahertz single core Qualcomm ARM11 based chipset, while this is Samsung, as I said, dual core Cortex A9 at twice the clock speed per core, so it should be at least about 4 times faster. I think it's actually even more. Well, however, let's go to applications, which is Anwendung in German, and then to active or running services. As you can see on the Samsung, there are right now, without, I think, well, maybe TweetDeck is running, but beside that there's nothing running. There are 175 megabytes of RAM used and 561 megabytes free. On the G1 this is different. After startup I had something like 23 megabytes managed or used, and 7.53 is now. Back then it was something like 50 free. And this is because, in fact, if you look at have a look at the spreadsheet, you will notice that the G1 is set to have 192 megabytes of RAM, but you've got to take on that there are many parts of the system that take a share of RAM, so that not everything is available for Android applications. For example, baseband 3D accelerator needs some RAM, and so on. Linux kernel, not to forget that, Android subsystem, and so on. This one has, if you look at spec sheet, has about 1 gigabyte of RAM, which is nowadays for tablets at least is standard, and for superphones it's, in fact, if you have a look at the specs of the HTC Sensation, I think it's got 1 gigabyte of RAM too. HTC Evo 3D or LG Optimus 3D should have 1 gigabyte of RAM too. So this is for today's superphones. This is pretty standard and nothing special. But that's 2011, and this is a device which came out in late 2008 in the US, and then in Germany it was released in March 2009 or February 2009, and I got it right after launch, and well, that's why I don't know whether you can see that it's quite scratchy, and I've been using it a lot. I really love that keyboard. I'm so sad that it's broken. I'm even considering getting another G1 because I really like that keyboard. It's incredible nice to use while on the go. You know, I was, after a few days of using this device, I was able to use that device while walking, while going somewhere, you know, taking notes, writing thoughts down, writing emails. But let's have a look at some actual tasks. You know, I could run a benchmark, but of course the G1 would lose. Well, it would lose, you know, lose. That doesn't make any sense actually. So they are both on the same Wi-Fi network, as you can see here. And so let's have a look at the web speeds. In fact, I cleared the caches before, so let's just try to. Whoa, this is tough to type, you know, it's so small. I should have prepared that. Let's just have a look at my website, linmob. Fuck. Sorry. What an unfortunate thing to happen. That is so difficult. As you can see, this is a lot easier, and I've cleared the cache. So this is just the history. So let's hit that load button now. Oh, there's now a slight disadvantage. It's the side of the Samsung Galaxy S2, but as you can see, it's already done. It supports Flash, which the G1 of course doesn't, because it's an ARM11 device. And yeah, and here the sidebar isn't loaded yet. But still, actually, you know, while loading you can scroll on the G1, so it's not that much worse actually. And if you go like this, you're even able to read the text already. So while it's certainly not as good, you can see that older Android devices are capable of doing lots of things too. So you don't need that latest superphone, you know. If you need Flash, I would actually recommend a latest superphone, because I've got that Asus Stream, which runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon chip and has got about 512 megabytes of RAM, and actually Flash is slower than on the SGS2 on that device. However, one has to say that even on such a super phone, Flash doesn't feel that good, because many Flash apps like Flash Video Plays and so on, they aren't made for mobile devices, they aren't made for touch, they are made for desktop and mouse use, so that's why usability is always crappy. And as you can see here, as this is this new way of embedding YouTube videos, the video is playable on the G1 too. So if it's just about YouTube videos, it's no issue. You can choose any ARM11 device. However, make sure that device has enough RAM, because if I now start now try to go back to the home screen, I'm there, and here the home screen has to load because it wasn't in RAM no more. You know, it has to moved out because RAM was filled up by the browser. And thus multitasking on a device which has only those spec sheet 192 megabytes of RAM is virtually impossible with Android. You should go for at least 512 megabytes of RAM with your next Android device. Okay, so I've got about 3 minutes left to talk. Otherwise I've got to split the video for YouTube upload, and I don't want to do that again. So what can I show you? Well, yeah, then there's one more thing that you really should look after. Don't get such an old device as G1 because of OpenGL ES 2.0. I don't have any games on here because they don't run well. This is because, you know, like when you're playing Angry Birds, which is a very popular game, and I will show that now on the Galaxy S2. If I only find it, where is it? Come on. Well, it's installed. My brother used it yesterday. It must be installed. Well, I don't find it. But if you use it on this device, you've got the full graphic experience on this. On the G1, you hadn't when I tried it in there. So really, if you don't want to spend that much money that you have to spend for Samsung Galaxy S2, which is about 500 euros or I think $600 or something, really there should be Android devices available for some 150 and so on, which have enough RAM and a CPU which at least, well, you should, of course, if you can get one, you should go for Cortex A8 or Cortex A9 CPU to have flash and so on, and many other things along with it, faster processing speed, of course, and always look at the RAM, really. There should be Android solutions for $200 that are really okay and do a decent job as a smartphone, as long as you don't expect this snappiness of the Samsung Galaxy S2. What you should consider too, and now this is really some kind of shopping advice video, which I didn't want to make initially. If you're really comfortable with QWERTY keyboards, get a device with QWERTY keyboards. You've got the options, and you've got to tell the manufacturers that people still need those keyboards. Right now, the only devices with keyboards out there in Europe are which are interesting. And I think HTC Desire that, which is T-Mobile G2 in the US, and the other one is coming out. It's the Sony Xperia Pro or something, and that's really not that much. Okay, I forgot Motorola devices, but Motorola devices have those locked bootloaders until now, which makes them unattractive because you have to hope that the manufacturer keeps up with updates. That is two very different Android devices of different ages of Android, running both same version, running it quite differently, and thus still the same. Thanks for watching. I will make some more videos soon. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye.